I've just come from a really, well, quite a short conversation with a couple of other vegans that I know from YouTube. The first one is Charlie, who is the vegan cheetah, and the second one is Ciel. That's how you pronounce his YouTube name, but his actual name is Ciel Mazar. See how French I sound. They both talk very honestly about their lives in their YouTube channels, and I have a common thread with them on that, because I talk very honestly in mine. I hope to. It's still a new channel, obviously, but I want to replicate what I've done in my real life, which is to share what my experiences are to benefit other people. And I kind of have this policy that even if it fucks my life up to a certain extent, I don't have the capacity to not be honest. It's just part of my nature. It's part of who I am. It's part of what I do. Anyone that knows me will say, well, you know, if you ask them to describe what I'm like as a person, they will say that I'm honest as one of the first things that they'll say. And I'm kind of proud of that. And then I said in the chat, I was watching Vegan Cheetah streaming when he was talking to Ciel on FaceTime, I think, or MSN. MSN? What year is this? I was listening to them talking about this, and you know, Vegan Cheetah has shared the story of his. He's a recovering drug addict, and I'm also a recovering. Well, I'm still a drug addict, but I'm a recovering lots of other things, as you'll see from my channel. And you know, we were talking about Ciel's divorce and the fact that there are always reservations that you have when you post things online about your real life, because people will be influenced by what you say if they watch it, if they're young especially. And I have this experience in my actual life quite often. So I feel like I have some degree of understanding before I even start making YouTube videos of what are the likely pitfalls of doing this. And now that I have a child myself, I want to make sure that what I'm putting online is something that I really believe in, rather than some made up, you know, some made up personality that I want to put out there, but isn't actually really me. So anyway, rambling. And this is what happens when I don't do the editing part. This is your first taste of what my actual speech is like. It's rambling shit. Yeah, so I have experience of drug addiction, and I also have experience of being in recovery from an eating disorder and having a mental illness, and I work for a large organisation where I've done a mental health campaign which involved me talking about my own mental illness as a sort of coming out party. Let's put your face on big banners and like slap it around all the buildings, which is, for me, I feel totally fine about that, because it's just part of me. I can't not have it. I can't lie about it. I've never, well, I mean, the last time I told an employer about it, it went really horribly wrong, and I ended up having the experience of being told that I was unemployable simply because I had the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. So that's in the video that I posted earlier today, but this time around I've had nothing but positivity from the fact that I've honestly talked about my, you know, a part of myself which is normally something that you don't see coming into the professional arena. You don't have most professionals revealing that they've had a mental illness because people perceive it to be a weakness. And when you're in a high pressure industry of any kind, you feel like people will jump on any weakness. And to a certain extent, I've experienced, how shall I put it? So people have been very positive. They've actually gone out of their way to come and say to me, thank you for doing this. But there seems to be this extra level. People won't go one step further, and if they're more senior than you, they won't then go and talk about their own mental illness. They'll talk about it to you face to face, but they won't say it the way I have done, because they know it could damage their career. And they also bring those perceptions to me. So me being perceived as someone that might have a weakness, even if people aren't conscious that they have this bias towards you, that we call it unconscious bias. It's a huge problem. It's the biggest problem that we have as humans, is that we all bring judgment no matter what we try and do about it. It's not something we can leave behind. But people's perceptions of me changed when I was really unwell, towards the middle of last year, over summer, when I was at a very low weight, and cognitively I was just all over the place, and I shouldn't have been at work. I should have been at home. I should have been in treatment, and I wasn't, for a multitude of reasons. But because of me being in work, and there was one day when I was just slightly over emotional, and that has now coloured people's perceptions. So they think that I'm distracted and not ready for, not ready for the harsh reality that is the world of work. And I think they forget that I'm not a teenage girl anymore. I'm a 35-year-old woman with I'm a homeowner, I've got a child, I've got a career, and I've actually had a career even before the current career that I'm in, doing a lot of stuff that it was really cool, and I just didn't have the mental energy to try and push that career at the time. But that's a whole nother story, and I will go into that. I just wanted to say that I don't feel that sharing things about my real life online or being honest about how I feel about things or about facts about myself, I'm not promoting mental illness. And I'm certainly not promoting drugs, so my previous addictions to drugs and my current addictions to drugs, alcohol abuse, all that kind of stuff, I'm not promoting those things by sharing that I've had them. Same thing with self-harm. I would never promote the idea, and I'm very conscious of anything that I say that may affect someone, especially when they're vulnerable or younger. I would hate to think that my child would go on YouTube and see someone talking about alcoholism or self-harm or drugs and think, yeah, I'm going to go and do this, because it's not that way at all. If you're really honest about the realities of those things, hopefully, if nothing, it will put them off, because it's not, the realities are not, they're not attractive, they're not glamorous. Nobody has a glittering career in self-harm, do they? For obvious reasons. So there you go. I said it was the end, and then I rambled some more, but now it really is the end. And I'll see you in another video. I hope you enjoyed the one that I made earlier. This one was a lot easier to make, so maybe I'll do more like this and stop with the crazy edits. Bye!